That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
What's going on, OneCast fans? Welcome to Fishing Friday Live here with Trey and Pete. No Ben this week. Ben had another function that he was dedicated to, so he's not going to be joining us for our Fishing Friday this week. But we're hanging out here. If you saw our post earlier, I was doing some repairs to the boat. I had an oxygenator go out, and I had to swap for a new one.
And I was watching you work.
And Trey watched me where he did help.
I did help for 5 seconds.
Typically, I just do things and don't ask for help. He offered like 319 times.
Yeah, but everybody knows what boat stands for, right? I think there's a couple versions, like bust out another 1,000, break out another 1,000. But yeah, I think you only had to break out like $20, right?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Not a big deal.
I mean, it was 100 and some, but yeah.
Oh, plus 80. If any of you guys own a boat, you know exactly what Pete and I are talking about.
For in the grand scheme of things, $100 to help better keep fish alive. You're supposed to be disconnected. Disconnected now. Sorry, you heard double audio there for a second.
Looks like we got a few people tuning in, man.
Yeah, we got some folks joining.
What up?
What up?
Who that is?
Facebook user.
What up,
Brad.
Facebook user?
I guarantee. Let me. That's what I pulled up. Yeah, it's Brad. What's going on, Brad? What's good, bud? Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're getting ready to go do a little fishing this weekend. My hat's.
Pete's hat is messed up, and while he's fixing that, hey, make sure you guys head on over to onecastfishing.com. Use the code TheOneCast to save some dollar bills at checkout. And also what, Pete?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Our newest partner, Carolina Waters, performance-based. They also have casual wear hats. You see wearing a hat. I got a regular old T-shirt on. Wear their performance gear. If you've seen any of our fishing pictures. Seen our fishing pictures.
Oh, I like that.
Seen any of our fishing pictures? You've probably seen me wearing their UPF stuff. If you spend a bunch of time outside fishing, any type of sports, make sure you protect yourself from the sun's harmful rays. Check out CarolinaWatersNC.com. Order some stuff. Use the code TheOneCast, all one word. And for the month of September, save 20% off your order. And I'll have to check what it is after that. But I know that code will continue to work. I'm just not sure what the percentage is. But make sure you check them out. Make sure you order you a hat or something, even if you're not in Carolina. It's great gear and supports a small, American-owned company. So
plus they got legit stuff, man. Like, there's nothing worse than getting a hat or a shirt that just you order offline, it doesn't fit right. I'm very particular about my hats. Like, I'm more into the form-fitting hats. I like the Richardson 112s and stuff like that. But shirts specifically, like, I don't like when a shirt is, it says like, oh, this shirt's a large or an extra large, but it fits like a schmedium. And honestly, the Carolina Waters apparel that I have, it fits like it says, right? It's either an extra large or it's a large, and that's kind of the issue with apparel these days is you just never know what you're going to get. So as far as their UPF shirts, their hats and stuff like that, like they fit very well. So go check those guys out. Who's selling some boats?
Brad's selling some boats. If you need a boat, head and see my man Brad. If you're looking for a White River Marine product, a nitro specifically.
Everybody's selling boats right now. You can see it.
Bass Pro and Carey. He's the Brad. What's your title? I think you're like the
sales manager,
Nitro Marine sales manager or something. Hello from Puerto Rico. What's going on? Island Fishing PR.
What?
Thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a good day.
PR. That's awesome.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a nitro, I know they have Makos and trackers, pontoons, all that good stuff. Head up to, and you're in North Carolina and the Raleigh area. If you're looking for one, head up to see our boy Brad up there at Bass Pro. And even if you're just swinging through there, stopping and talk to him. Some good deals right now. Yeah, it's getting that time of year when they're trying to move whatever's left for 2023 and get on to the 2024. So it's a good time to buy if you're looking for a new boat.
And I do have to say, like, I purchased my my vessel from Cary. And the service crew up there, and I know Tracker Marine doesn't get like a lot of, they don't get a lot of good reviews or whatever. Obviously, they're a major corporation, but the service crew up at the Tracker Boat Center or the Bass Pro Shops in Cary, those guys are without a doubt probably some of the best service crews I've ever worked with. Obviously, they don't pay us to say any of that stuff, but I just want to give a shout out. And in fact, if you remember, a while ago, we actually promoted one of the GoFundMe pages for Justin, who does all the electronics on my boat. His wife is still battling with a pretty aggressive cancer. He works up there with Brad, actually. So it's a great place. It's a great place to pick up a rig, man.
Yeah. So definitely check them out. Speaking of GoFundMes, we have an episode coming out next week with Matty Wong, who knows Elite Series Pro, requalified for year 3. Native of Hawaii. We were talking to him about getting involved with the fires that have devastated the island over there in Maui. And he just happened that day to have been in a local tackle shop and met a family that had been devastated by the fire. They were in there buying a few rods and reels and some fishing gear so the husband could get his kids out there fishing again. And so Maddie, in talking to them, found out they had to GoFundMe. So we have that. I'm going to share that. Here's what I'm asking. We don't have a ton of people on right now. I'm gonna send it out in all the chats, the link. What we're gonna do a giveaway for anybody that donates, whether you donate 50 cents or $50 or $50,000, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you make a donation to this family, show that we're a community of anglers helping anglers. Just the little receipt you get, you can black your name and all that stuff out, whatever. Just send it over to our socials. I'm going to make a running list, and then
we're going to do a giveaway.
We're going to do a giveaway, yeah, probably sometime towards the end of October. We have another bigger giveaway with some bigger prizes and stuff we're going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about this one for right now. So I'm going to send that GoFundMe out in the chats, and then we'll do some more promotion around that. So if you have a couple extra bucks to spare, I know a lot of people don't like to donate because they don't know where their money's going. This money is going directly to this family. Both mom and dad are public service workers there in
Lahaina.
Lahaina.
Yep.
The town that was devastated. They lost everything. So trying to help them get some stuff for their kids to get them out fishing and back outdoors, and it's just a good way to help. So we wanted to do that, and our giveaway will probably be a shirt, which we haven't showed off yet. We do have them in. And the one cast hats, which will be here probably next week.
Yeah, the hats are gonna look like you guys are gonna like the hats.
Yeah,
like
hats are cool.
It's pretty cool. Man, Lahaina is one of the most devastated places in the continental United States. Like, it's such a small island, or Maui's such a small island, and like Pete said, GoFundMe obviously takes a portion, right? A percentage.
I don't think they do.
Do they not?
I'm pretty sure they don't.
Okay. Well, anyhow, like Pete said, the money goes directly to the family. So whatever we can do to help those people out. But on the flip side, like Pete said, we're looking to hook you all up with some stuff. So, and also share this stuff with your friends too. Like, don't just keep it in house. Like, share it with your friends, push it out on your socials. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. So, but anyways, what do we want to talk about today?
Said they wired my 98 Triton and they were the best. Yeah, they do a good job. I was going to wire yours, Veda, but our schedules never worked out. So I'm glad you got up there and got with them. They're a bunch of good folks. I think we want to talk about fall transition.
Man,
it's kicking off around the country. I do believe we got that first cold night. And I want to start with a common misconception that the fall transition is this big, long, drawn-out thing that happens over months and months, and that's not the case. As soon as you get that first cool night, that joker starts and those fish move a lot. Thanks, Island. Yeah, we appreciate it. We've had a lot of work on the studio and getting it set up and making it our own. We're a long way from fold-out chairs and where we started.
Yeah, Island, go back and check our first couple episodes out on YouTube, or definitely on YouTube where we have video. We have definitely transitioned, and you can even hear us our intros and the way we speak. Obviously, getting more comfortable at doing this stuff. So, but go check that out and see how our podcast has grown, and make sure you share all that stuff with all your buddies. And leave us reviews. I mean, good or bad, whatever the case may be. But yeah, we appreciate that, man.
That's Zach. Appreciate that, man. That's Swamp Fox Customs. Check them out. They do soft plastics, starting to custom paint hard plastics. He said they're going to send some bait and lure stuff up for
awesome.
the giveaway for the family. So we'll add that to the list. And appreciate that, Zach. Everybody go check out Swamp Fox Customs. I'm going to be showing off some of their baits. I'm just doing some final testing, helping them get things dialed in, and we'll be showing off some stuff. They got. I'm not a big like bluegill pattern guy, right? I don't throw a lot of bluegill patterns.
No,
like.
Man, I love throwing bluegill.
No, I just don't. But he has a square bill. I'm not sure who. Another Puerto Rico. Thanks for joining. That's awesome. He has a square bill. And Zach, correct me if I'm wrong. I think your fiance painted that gill square bill that I have, and it is the most realistic, like best looking gill. Might throw at my tournament tomorrow, depending on what the fish are doing.
So we're going to go back to the fall transition because I think it's a really important topic to talk about. But bluegill, so something that I do, especially when I'm deep summer cranking, right? Everyone is throwing like a shad pattern, right? Whether it's, sexy shad or like natural or blueback or whatever the case may be. But sometimes in order to generate like a bite out of a school that you may have worked over, like, 5, 6, 10 fish, whatever the case may be, I will turn around and throw a bluegill pattern deep diving crankbait. And sometimes it would generate like additional bites. Now, I don't have the data to put against this, but I feel like it does because I've been bit on like some of the like Berkeley dredgers and stuff like that. So, but yeah, bluegill is definitely effective, but it's whatever you're comfortable with. But let's talk about that fall transition.
Yeah. So we got that cold. Everybody should have had at least one cold night here. And as soon as you get that first cold night, man, the bait starts moving. The biggest thing with the fall transition and why guys love it and hate it is because the thermocline is gone. Once that thermocline disappears, those fish can be anywhere. So you're going to have fish deep. You're going to have fish shallow. You're going to have fish in those mid depths, which I think most people struggle with fishing. I know I do. Struggle a lot with that kind of mid depth. But it can make for a super fun fishing this time of year, because if you get on a ball of bait and the fish are feeding and it's not too much bait to where you can't compete, you can have a heck of a day. So, but it started already. We got that. As soon as you get that first cool night, don't let anybody tell you that it's like this 2-month long deal. As soon as you get that first cool night, you'll notice if you spend a couple days on the water, like those bait ball schools will start to concentrate on offshore structure. They'll start to move into those channel swings. They'll start to push shallow again, feeding on bait shallow. So it's a pretty quick change. It just lasts a really long time.
It does. And I'll tell you, like, so in the deep summer, sort of the quote unquote dog days of summer, right? I know that I miss out on a giant bite because I'd never go shallow, right? But those bites, depending on where you're at, it's all situational, are few and far between, especially here in the Carolinas, unless you're fishing like Santee or whatever the case may be. But with the fall transition, I'm totally going to eliminate shallow water first. Why? Because when you're competing with threadfin shad are so small in the deep space, I feel like, this is just my thoughts, when you go shallow, you usually can generate bites quicker because they're pushing bait up against the bank. And that's where like those square bills and those bladed jigs, right? The snagless bladed jig, go check it out at onecastfishing.com, or, spinner baits or whatever the case may be. They play a role. However, what I do try to do is downsize my bait to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I don't typically downsize really unless I'm fishing offshore. I feel like I'm a little bit opposite with the shallow water. I think those fish, when they get up shallow, are feeding on the bluegill and stuff that are up there. Shallow, they start getting around laydowns and that kind of thing again, eating those crappie and bluegill. Because most of those bigger wads of shad you see are kind of mid-creek. They don't really concentrate around the structure. So if I'm fishing shallow water structure, I usually don't really downsize. I may downsize just a tad on my square bill or something, but I don't necessarily downsize like a lot of folks do. Probably might get bit more.
Never know.
But I throw my favorite square bill in the fall is a great,
Little
big,
John.
gigantic. That's one I do throw, but there's a 6 cents one I throw too. I'm not going to talk about it, but because I can't remember the name of it. I'll tell y'all once I look at what it is, and I'll tell everybody. But it's a big square bill. I mean, it's a big body, it's a big profile, and it just gets crushed. There's just something. Sometimes that bigger meal is just it's hard to give up, and they'll eat it. But absolutely, when I get offshore and I'm concentrating on those shad balls, usually I throw an 8 rig at them just because it's tough to beat an 8 rig this time of year. And as long as I can throw it, I probably will. I'll go down to like a 2.3 or 2.5 size, and then like the mini. I don't go all the way down to like the crappie A rigs like some guys do. But I go down to a smaller one. I can't think of the name of the one that I like to throw. I'll post that too when I remember what it is.
If you guys, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's experienced anglers in the group by now, right? But you know, if you don't know how to identify the thermocline, like there's tons of different videos out there, right?
Yeah.
Turning your settings up on your 2D, or your contrast up on your 2D to find like that dark line that goes across the top. Well, that's going to go away. And you know, that is where like there is so much bait in the lake. You can fish the bait and still not get bit. You really do have to the best of your ability, try to find the fish with your electronics. You can do it with forward-facing sonar. It's actually a really effective tool. But if you don't have that, you can still do it with side scan and 2D and stuff like that. Or you can just turn all your electronics off and, you know, swing for the fences, man. The cool thing is in the fall, especially in the Carolinas, I believe, is when they start busting bait on the top of the water, like it is no holds barred. Like you can throw anything you want at them for the most part. They're not typically as picky as they are like in the summertime when they're busting on bait and stuff like that. They're extremely aggressive because they're feeding up for their winter. They know that they're about to transition into that lethargic mode. So that's when I really like to hit them with like topwater spooks, anything really top water, not so much a frog, but like anything with a treble hook on it. Like I'm throwing it at them.
Yeah. I don't even really throw at fish on top water in the fall, honestly.
No,
I find typically,
or jerk baits.
Typically when they're busting on the surface like that, there's so much bait that you're wasting your time. Like you might get a bite or two. It's typically not as good fish. Most of the time when they push those giant balls up, you can walk across them and you can't compete with that. So I try to look for less bait, smaller balls with smaller groups of fish around them and target on those. I'm not going to say I don't throw top water at them when I see it happening, because you have to. Like that's a natural instinct. But I don't know that I've ever had a day where I've seen them busting bait like that on the surface and actually had much success. Yeah. And results are different. Lakes are different. Lakes are different. Yeah. Like, so I'm not saying it doesn't work, but the lakes that I typically fish, it hasn't been successful for me. What works for me is small swim baits and A rigs and lipless. I throw the lipless a ton this time of year. Now,
speaking of, I don't know who said
Veda.
fall is.
Veda said color for the fall.
Color. Explain that to me.
That's like color is key.
Color is key. So depending on what lake you're on, I mean, like, so, you know, like largemouth or all the bass will eat crawfish all year long. But in the fall, like crawdads, they come out to play, right? I will always have a fritz side, and I'm just throwing it out there. I'll always have a fritz side crankbait in a craw pattern tied on. I think it just generates bites. It's something that's comfortable with me. I throw it on 12-pound fluorocarbon on a, you know, small cash and crankbait rod with a pretty slow gear ratio, and I will crawl that thing through the water column on rock and on laydowns and stuff like that. And it generates a lot of bites too. And then I'll take that same technique in the October, November timeframe and then do the exact same thing in the late January, February, March timeframe. And it typically gets bit.
Yeah. I don't really throw craw too much in the fall. That bite kind of slows down. They tend to concentrate. Again, the lakes we fish have so many shad. They tend to concentrate on the shad.
So much shad.
Just because it's the quickest way they can put weight on in a hurry.
Yeah, for sure.
So shad's kind of my go-to. Now, if I'm fishing a river system or something, I'll lean more towards that crawdad. But most of our lakes, I mean, I know they eat them, but it's never been like a huge producer for me.
No.
No, and I know Ben
Jordan
his
PB
PB
does good.
Yeah, I've never caught a fish on a crawdad color
my
anything in Jordan.
My first fish this year was an 8-pounder in February on a Fritzside 5 or Fritzside 7. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, you're right. Like it can go without getting bit too.
I should probably throw it when I'm not getting bit on my shad and other more natural color kind of things. The thing with crawfish too is like everybody wants to go straight to that super bright orange color, and they don't usually get that super bright orange in the fall. They're more of a brown. That's when you start to see those bluish purple hues and things come through because the water's cooling down. They're not molding as much. They're
not spawning either.
Yeah, they're starting to slow down too. So that's why green pumpkin, stuff like that's what I'll throw most. Like if I'm throwing a jig or a shaky hit or something, concentrate more on that green pumpkin color.
Well, you kind of see that on Sam Rayburn, right? Like in the January, February time frame, they say Rayburn red, throw Rayburn red, right? And in that that late winter, that early springtime is when there's crawdads. And correct me if I'd have to look it up, but there's hundreds of species of crawfish in North America. But I know that they start spawning before the bass spawn, right? Isn't that right?
Well, they start emerging. I don't know.
They start emerging.
They don't.
But they get bright red, right?
Yeah, but that's not anything to do with the spawn. That has to do with them molting.
Who was at Harris today?
Steve Loper.
Steve, don't be going out on my lake, man.
A bunch of slot fish.
Don't be going out on my lake.
The Dead Sea. But yeah, it
ain't the Dead Sea. I guarantee you caught fish, Steve.
What's going on, Jonathan?
What's up, John?
What was I saying?
Crawfish, something.
Oh yeah. So in the spring they molt. So as soon as they come out, they start emerging. That's why that really bright orange. And that's why.
Right. Yep.
What was the fire craw Z-Man? Everybody ran out and bought all those. For
I ain't caught a single fish on that thing.
I've never caught a fish on a Z-Man.
Never.
I got like 47 Z-Man fire craw. Jackhammers never got a bite. I've caught them like a lipless. I've caught them on that bright orange and black. I've caught them on a square bill, and I've caught them on soft plastics with that bright color. But I've never gotten a bite on a Z-Man jackhammer.
Well, of course they're chasing shad, Steve. They're not gonna. Well, I mean,
Harris, they don't eat anything but shad ever.
I mean, they will eat some crawfish, but you got to go up, on some of the rocky stuff. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, Harris is a great place to catch fish. But if you know anything about Pete, here's the deal. If Pete knows about a bait coming out, he's pre-ordering the bait, but he's not pre-ordering 1-pack. He's pre-ordering 46 packages of the bait. So that's why Trey always gets like 3 baits from Pete, because he always orders a bunch of them.
I'm 1,000% that guy. Yeah. I know people get mad, but like, for instance, when the Panorama launched from 6 cents, that bait is going to be a killer.
Yeah.
I've caught fish on the 2 that I got in the sack. It's just a completely different profile with a different action. It's not like anything the fish have seen before. And it dropped the other day. I think they sold out of everything in like an hour, but on my initial order, I ordered 5 packs of like 6 different colors. And then I went back and ordered more because I could. And then I found another shop that had more. So I bought some more. And so I ended up with a whole bunch. So I have them. Looking forward to using them. They're gonna be great. Have y'all ever? I have not personally thrown that headbanger topwater bait, but I know a guy that throws it and catches a pile of fish on it. Me personally, I've never thrown it. Looks like Trey found them. You got the power.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say. So I don't typically pre-order baits for any reason, but with the amount of pressure on the lakes, with the amount of people using forward-facing sonar, including myself, so we can fight about it. But I don't know what cartoon that's from. You want to fight about it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's Family Guy. But with watching the elites and some of the other tours, MPFL and stuff up north, the Berkeley power bait power switch was pretty deadly for the smallies. And listen, whatever catches the smallmouth up north will catch largemouth down here in the south. It does not matter, right? You can Demiki rig anything and catch largemouth vertically jigging them or casting and stuff like that. So I thought that was a pretty cool bait that the elite guys were catching the smallies on St. Lawrence and Champlain and stuff like that. So yeah, I pre-ordered some. I was acting like you that day.
Yeah, I don't pre-order anything. I just wait till it drops.
Well, these haven't dropped yet, but I ordered them.
I guess I'll have some of those.
I mean, what are your guys' thoughts, right? So fall transition, we talk about the thermocline dissipating. We talk about, the fish spreading out, eating shad, eating crawdad, downsizing baits, whatever the case may be. But, the fall transition makes a lot of people angry. But the reason I like the fall transition so much is, yes, I whitetail hunt. I love deer hunting. I got tons of deer on the wall. But I usually try to kill 6 of them in one day so I don't have to do it for the rest of the year. And then I try to hit the lake because no one else is on the lake. So I love the fall time. It's just a lot cooler. It's more enjoyable. The water is typically more calm, after hurricane season and stuff like that. It's just a great time to fish, man. Sometimes you can go out there and just have a really terrible day, but it's usually beautiful anyway, so it doesn't matter.
The lake lice is gone. What's too shallow vertical jig? Oh man, that depends on you. I probably wouldn't do it in anything under 10 feet just because it wouldn't be effective. Because the whole point of that is to keep it in that, whatever that depth zone you're trying to be in for an extended period of time, to keep it in front of the fish. So you'd have to work super hard and it would move really fast if you were under that kind of that 10-foot mark. But that's just me. I mean, some folks probably will disagree. I'm more than likely, if I'm have to go under 10 foot and I want that more vertical, I'm just going to drop shot.
Yeah, I guess it depends on if you're trying to target a single fish, or if you're trying to target a brush pile that's in 10 feet of water and the top busts up to 6, or if you're trying to target a school of fish in 10 feet of water. I guess it really just depends, because you can throw a wacky rig and still catch them. You know what I mean? But fish, bass are becoming extremely conditioned, especially to sonar. That'll never change. I mean, they're still going to bite, man. But I don't think there's a right and wrong answer for that. I think it's just depends.
Whatever you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I said, I personally wouldn't probably do it in anything under 10 just because it's too much work, and it wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean,
it wouldn't present the way I would want it to. But that's me.
Yeah, if they were under 10, man, I'd crank them. I'd, drag a sea rig. I would throw a jig. This is a great time of year to throw a jig.
Mm-hmm.
So if you transitioning from dragging that football head jig in 20 foot of water, 15 foot of water, the fish start getting up shallow. Like Pete said, they start pushing up on those laydowns and stuff, especially exposed timber where it's getting some heat by the sun and then generating that down in the water. Start flipping those laydowns with a flipping jig. It's a great time of the year for a jig.
Yeah. Still fishing rock with a football head.
That's right. Yep.
Docks.
And then the micro jig.
Yeah. Small down.
This is a really good time to throw a micro jig.
Yeah. The on air sign's off because I haven't bought a what you call it yet. A dimmer.
What? Yeah. I mean, we could.
Blows
which one's the on air?
Doesn't have a thing.
Doesn't have a thing. Switch it on, Pete.
I'll show you how.
It's about to be realbright.com. Let's see. Ooh, it says air. I can't see the on part.
So that's why we don't we need to
just keep it on. It's fine. Everything's good. However, you all know we are on air. So
yeah, that's really all that matters. You guys know we're here. You're hanging out. My allergies are killing me with this cold night, this cold weather change. My head feels like it's gonna explode at any second.
Yeah, but here's the cool thing about the fall too. You don't have to mow your yard as much.
True. And
you get to fish more. Right?
You don't have to mow it much in the summer if you do what I do and just drop her all the way to the deck and burn it off. You don't have to mow dirt, son.
We are air. There's no on. We are
air.
Just air.
Just air.
Just air.
Lots of air.
The fall is another time too that I can start putting a lot of rods away.
Yeah.
In the summertime, in the spring and the summer, you got 8,000 cash and rods on your front deck, right? Or in your compartment or whatever you choose to throw. Pete and myself are caching guys. You're welcome, caching. But you really can start getting rid of some of those excess baits, right? Reducing the weight in your boat, reducing the rods that you have in your boat. And you really can start solidifying it down to some of the fall transition baits and stuff like that. You don't I'm not gonna say don't have a frog.
I'm the complete opposite. I have more rods in the fall than I do in the summer.
All right.
But that's because you can catch them literally any way that you want to catch them.
That's true.
Fall. Like any technique you want to use, you can pretty well go out and catch fish shallow, deep, mid-depth. So for me, I tend to have way more rods, whereas in the summer, I'm probably going to have like a Texas rig, a shaky head, and a crankbait. And if I'm somewhere where a frog bites, I'm going to have frog, and that's
yeah.
Like this time of year, like tomorrow, for instance, for our tournament, I've got shaky heads.
Oh, I know.
I'm going to have Texas rig. I'm going to have crankbaits. I'm going to have jigs. I'm going to have, what up, Mike?
Mike.
You know, I'm going to have a little bit of everything.
That's true.
And then I can pare down if I just get on a bite. Like,
so, I mean, I guess that really depends on what lake you're going to.
That too. Yeah.
You know, like if you're going to,
if that's Florida.
Yeah. If you're going down to where Mike Johns is talking about, like Lake Toho, Kissimmee Chain, St. John's River, all that stuff. You know, Mike Johns throws two things:
a frog and a buzzbait.
Buzzbaits and hot dogs. You know, those those are the two things. But I'll tell you what, like they're deadly down in Florida. You know, flip the script. You're going up north. You got a couple things you're throwing. Yeah. Let's say an Ed rig, a drop shot, and maybe a jerk bait, right? Maybe a C rig. But here in the Carolinas, Pete's right. You know, like you can have a vast majority of a vast variety of things on the front deck. Now, I'm going to, depending on where I'm fishing, there's a couple lakes around the area that I'm gonna be like, yeah, probably gonna only throw like 4 or 5 baits.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have a frog tied on. I'm probably not gonna have what else? I'm not gonna have a deep diving crankbait tied on anymore. You know, things like that. But you know, I will have an A-rig tied on. Right. A lot of these fish are going to be chasing bait around. It's a great way to get bit, you know, throwing an A-rig. If you're in a tournament and it doesn't allow it, we'll figure something else out. But A-rigs are a great way to catch 3, 4, 5 bass at a time. And it's fun.
Yeah, you could potentially. I've never done that, but
Mike, you're on the St. John's tomorrow. Good luck, dude. This is the,
oh yeah.
You got the super. So, and you don't have a no information rule, right? So here's my information. Throw a buzzbait and a frog.
Yeah, frog and buzzbait. I think he probably has 3 buzzbait rods,
so
3 frog rods.
But Mike has got and I'm not going to air all his info, but he's got a sweet setup right on the St. John's River. And fortunately, thank you, Mike, I was able to stay down there when I went down there earlier this year to fish a derby with him on Lake Toho. And he's in a good place, man. So
I think he's on Seminole.
Well, I mean, his buddy's house.
Oh, when he stayed.
Yeah. So hopefully you can whack him, man. But I don't know how Florida is this time of year. I mean, it's probably like anywhere else. It's hit or miss.
I'm going to Seminole soon.
Yeah, Mike, you need to get your beep squared away so we can come down to Seminole and hang out.
Oh, and to come fishing.
Tune in for the weigh-in. Why don't you go live on
I
your
have a derby, so I won't be.
I will. I'm taking the kids to the fair, so I'm basically like boring.com tomorrow, but just kidding. It should be exciting. Go live on your socials, Mike, so we can all see.
I'm gonna go donate some money to the guys in my club.
Pete's gonna go bring home a W for the year because I didn't win crap this year. My top finish was 6th place.
We're fishing a lake I've fished twice, and both times was during the spawn.
That's all right. That's all right. You'll be fine.
I've got a bunch of dynamite and a cast net, so we should be good.
But yeah, man. So, but dude, for the fall, I am looking forward to deer hunting too, though. Like, it should be a good time. Like, it's starting to cool down. I'm ready to go, like, shoot a couple deer and do some fishing and stuff like that. It just sucks that the days are a lot shorter now, you know?
Yeah, like I'm looking outside. It's
7:30 and it's already dark out.
It's
so
depressing.
Yeah.
Very depressing.
But what are your guys' favorite baits to throw during the fall, right? So October and beyond, we'll just say October and beyond because it's halfway through September.
Anybody but you, Mike, because you're going to say a frog and a buzzbait.
Mike,
that's all you throw year round is a frog and a buzzbait.
Now, I will say, though, a buzzbait will still get bit. Like, don't be afraid to throw topwater. I mean, guys are throwing topwater in January and February time frame.
50 degrees, all you need. Yeah, I'll have one tied on. I'll have a buzzbait on tomorrow. Buzzbait and a walking bait or a popper. I don't know which one yet. I'm deciding.
You're probably going to have all 3.
Well, no.
You'll probably have 2 of each. Prop baits, buzzbait, and a frog. You know, prop baits, Mike, I'm not going to say that they don't work up here. I'm going to say I don't throw them up here. Minus the Cho on Or
I caught some fish on Harris on them this year.
Did you?
And the spawn, yeah.
Prop bait
up on those grass.
Prop baits such as like Whopper ploppers or like prop baits such as like Bangalores.
Like Bangalores.
Oh, I'm not gonna say you can't get bit on. I just don't throw them up
It
here.
was really good. It's a really good bait on Harris in the spring.
That's probably
because they're
I get them on jerk
trying
baits,
to give
but
away the juice.
yeah.
So Harris, I don't care. It's Harris.
Yeah, everybody.
You're gonna catch slots anyway. I said that like
which are big fish,
which
by
are
the
4
way.
pound fish. No, because since now that those fish are spawning on the old bank line and they're a lot harder to see, you can take that Bangalore or that prop bait and throw it up and hit those weeds and twitch it off of it, and they'll just come up and
yeah.
They can't resist.
Actually, Mike showed me a really cool way. He didn't show me; he told me about it because he doesn't know how to do it. Actually, but
he just said he's going to release a video, so he's got to have some idea.
Well, let's see. But it was really cool. Like down in Florida, like you can manipulate, a prop bait just by using your spool. You don't even have to use your rod tip and stuff like that. And I did catch quite a few fish on a very short. I don't know what the brand was, but jerk bait this year. And it was basically just micro twitches, like with those bucks, especially on the bed, they would come up and just whack that jerk bait. And like unless you just like try to boat flip them, they're not going to really come off, but it's a really cool way to do it. But I want to take some of the Bangalores that Mike was talking about and try that on Harris. So it's a great idea.
I'm Pete, by the way, not Mike.
So Mike was doing, I want to try that on Harris.
Yeah. I know it worked, man.
This isn't Mike.
I had a lot of lookers too, which was annoying because you could see those big girls come up and nose up to it, and it's like give it a little twitch, and
yeah, they
would either react or you were done at that point. So it was fun though. It was it showed me where a lot of fish were. Then I went back later, and
you know what else I'm looking forward to? I'm looking, and I've done it several times this year. And I know this is a huge debate right now, or a huge conversation, but I'm looking forward to turning the forward-facing sonar off. I'm looking forward to not even hitting the switch and even turn that bad boy on. Like I want to go shallow. I love fishing deep. I would consider myself relatively good at offshore fishing, but I'm ready to like see the bank and throw at targets and just cover water. And I'm ready for that, man. I'm ready to flip some jigs and throw some crankbaits and stuff up against the freaking mud and drag it down into the water.
Yeah. I don't even turn that graph on. I will at least for a little bit longer, but
yeah.
And then again in December, you get like a month where you don't have to use it.
Yeah. But on the flip side, though, if you're new to having forward-facing sonar or whatever brand you have on your boat, the way that I worked it was, I bought Active Target when it first came out. I think, what was it? Lowrance had like Live Sight or something. It was their like very first like forward-facing sonar. I was like, nah, I'm not going to buy that. But then they came out with Active Target. Now they got Active Target 2. I don't have that. But I had one sitting in my garage for about 18 months. I never put it on my boat. I wanted to see like the effects it would have on, fishing and blah, 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 blah. And to be brutally honest, it was just, piece of lazy crap. So I didn't put it on my boat. Well, I put it on my boat in November of last year. And yeah, it's cold, isn't it? Yeah, it's cold in here, dude.
I was trying to be a tough guy.
Yeah, So, but the fall in the wintertime is a great time. If you guys have like forward-facing sonar, you just got it. It's a great way to go out there and just learn it. You don't even have to cast a line. Like just go out there and see what stuff looks like.
Yeah, I did it in the fall crappie fishing because they get real stacked up, big giant schools of crappie, and it was really good to be able to go out and watch them react and all of that. So it was a little harder with the bass because you were just seeing a giant bait ball, and then you would see the streak come in and trying to really discern what was going on. But crappie are great. You roll up on a bridge, or if you have timber, whatever it is where you're at, find you a big school of crappie and then just throw jigs and stuff at them, see how they react.
Whoa. Is it crappie or crappie? Because you just said two different names.
I say it both ways.
Crab or crappie?
Yeah, I try to keep people in there.
Sac-a-lait?
That's the third one.
Oh, okay. What is it, guys? Sac-a-lait, crappie. I don't know. You hear something?
Oh, it's our fridge running.
Our fridge is running.
What is that noise?
Go catch it.
It sounds like a dang. There was a frog or something in here. Ben and I recorded that episode. When it was just two of us. It released yesterday. If y'all haven't listened, go check it out.
Yeah.
You get to hear me call everybody whiners, just complain about forward-facing sonar.
Yeah,
But there was
for
a
sure.
frog or a cricket in here, and that joker was every once in a while.
So it's funny. I'm not gonna tell you guys what it is because I'm gonna try to make some videos. But I bought some really funny prank stuff, and we're getting ready to head down to Lake Lanier.
Yeah.
At the end of October for the National Professional Fishing League's final event. And it should be a pretty cool time. Like Pete reserved us an Airbnb. The three of us plus Chelsea's going down there, right?
Yep.
So we're going to be down there for the NPFL's final event. We're going to be doing some live shows and probably some recorded shows and stuff like that. So we're really excited for that. So make sure that you tune into that stuff. We'll probably do a Fishing Friday live or whatever the case may be. But I bought some pretty cool prank stuff. I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. And really the only person that we're going to prank is probably Chelsea. So, if she's watching this, like
Chelsea and
be warned, Chelsea, we're pranking you.
I got a little inside info, so I know what's going down.
Yeah, it's going down.
Poor Chelsea.
And, it's always good to have a little fun. Keep it light.
We had fun at the Classic. I mean, the first house we stayed at, the toilet exploded, and there was the guy cleaned it out and pulled. If you stay at an Airbnb and your lady, friend, wife, whatever's with you, and it's that time of the month, don't just flush that stuff because it literally destroyed the plumbing in this house. The guy pulled like hundreds and hundreds
of bullet plugs.
I'll call them tampons out of the sewage system while we were there. So we had to leave that, which was an adventure, go to another one. And then the other one had this really creepy room that had a bunch of, like, dolls. And clowns and stuff.
I think I got pictures of that. We'll start posting that up on the
should
Instagram page.
We all claimed our rooms, and my dad came later, so we set the dolls up and then stuck him in that room.
Old Big Pete got Raggedy Ann and all her girlfriends.
We recorded him going in there. It wasn't I never posted the video because it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, so you got to have fun when you go travel around to shows and stuff like that. And I don't know what shows we'll see y'all at this year. I know I'll be at Raleigh. I'm sure Trey will make it to Raleigh.
Yeah, I should be able to make it.
And then I'm going to do ICAST for sure this year, which I know a lot of folks won't be able to go to. Hopefully, Mike, you'll make it down this year.
I'll try.
And then I don't know what else. Ben is doing with One Cast Fishing. He's going to do Raleigh, Richmond, and the show in Knoxville. So if I can get to Knoxville, that show is awesome. Like I might try to go over there for the weekend. Just depends on what the schedule looks like, whether I can make it or not. But not probably going to do as many shows. I am going to go to Murray this year and Marshall for the Elite Series event down there. And I think they're there in April, if I remember correctly. So that'll be cool.
They only got a potential couple spawn events this year.
Yeah. Watch our episode. We kind of talk about the Elite schedule and the potential spawn events or lack thereof. If you haven't been following everybody, the internet's mad because now every event they're saying is going to be
forward-facing sonar
instead of spawn. So you can't make anybody happy. Destin, it showed you just jumped on, bro. I hope you're doing well, making your way back from the Open down there. I know it was you had a great day today. I should have yesterday. It was one of those things.
He jumped up to like 45th, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. So
those weights,
heck of a job, man. I know yesterday hurt. But you know how it is, man. Keep trucking. We'll get you on, talk about your year a little bit at the end, like we talked about when we had you on at the beginning of the year on the One Cast. So we'll bring Destin back on and talk to somebody who's fished all 9 of the EQ as an EQ angler for the first year that they've done it. I'm hoping, now we've heard the rumors about some changes and things coming to the EQs for next year. I'm hoping Bass announces something soon so that we have something to talk about through the slow fishing time because the North's going to start freezing before long. We're going to slow down. Tournament fishing is going to slow down. Fishing in general slows down a bit this time of year.
But that gives us a lot of opportunity to talk to a lot of the guests that came on in the first portion of the season, right?
Yep.
We'll do that post-tournament, post-season recap. We also want to bring some different guests on for all the viewers and stuff like that. Not just all tournament angling, but, we're all about creating a culture of anglers, helping anglers one cast at a time. Part of that is education and information, right? So, we had biologist Corey Oakley on before. We definitely want to bring him back on. We want to bring some other organizations on to keep it, keep it different, not just do like the typical podcast thing where they interview all the post tournament winners and stuff like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's not what we're all about. So it'll be good to get Destin back on, try to get Harvey back on, Corbishley, some of the MPFL anglers, some of the EQ anglers.
We do have quite a few Elite Series guys that are getting scheduled out to come on, as well as at least one BPT guy. I think I'm working on that. I've been pretty hypercritical, so they might not want to come on because I'm a jerk. But
it's just being an honest broker.
I'm working to get at least one on from that organization so we can talk to them about how things are going over there. And
we want to get Michael Johns on too.
Have Michael Johns on and let him talk about his work with FX3 Inc. and his fishing I think he's fishing the EQs this coming year.
Yeah. So, and if you guys don't follow Michael Johns, like Pete said, FX3 Inc., nonprofit organization that focuses on, getting veterans to the outdoors, veteran suicide awareness, and great cause, man. These 501c3s operate off of complete donor funds and stuff like that. So it was really cool to be a part of, the Help Our Heroes tournament. I think it was called Helping Our Heroes tournament down in Lake Toho. And, Toho Marine actually donated, a significant amount of money to FX3. And that's the only way that these 501c3s can operate, and the same thing with Heroes Harvest. I volunteer as a person that takes, veterans fishing and getting them to the outdoors. Any of us here can volunteer to do that. So it's a great cause. Go check those guys out. heroesharvest.org, FX3 Inc.org. Is there, or
just Google FX3 Inc.
Just Google FX3.
You'll be able to find it. But yeah, make sure you check them out. We've done the work on those, so we know where that money goes, because there are some out there that aren't as good.
That's true.
And
that's true. Yep.
All of that stuff's public information. So if you ever wonder where your money's going, just look up the organization. They'll have to post their EIN, and you can look that up on the IRS's website, and you can find everybody's salaries and everything that has to do with that company.
That's right.
And it'll make you think twice before you send money to some organizations out there. I'm not going to bash anybody who may help one family, but they could do more if they weren't. I think we froze, but
did we?
There for a second, we had a little hiccup.
Oh,
Puerto Rico is super active today. I appreciate y'all coming on. I know somebody over
what part of Puerto Rico are you from? You're from the capital or what?
But yeah, so check those organizations out. They're scrolling across the bottom. Looks like we froze again. Apologize. We amongst the hundreds of upgrades we've done, not hundreds, amongst the upgrades we've done.
Yeah, we're gonna get some different internet
to the studio. We're going to have some dedicated internet run out here for us.
But
so we don't have these issues whenever we're trying to talk to y'all live, because now we're freezing pretty consistently. I'm looking at the feed. It looks like we're doing okay. We're trying. So appreciate anybody that stayed on through that. I know.
It is interesting at like that hour mark, like Facebook starts freezing and stuff.
I don't know how YouTube's going, but I should pull that up and see. But yeah, let us know if there's any topics or anything that anybody that's on wants us to record an episode. These Fridays, we do have some folks on from time to time. We've had Destin on. We've had some other folks on. But we can really ask questions and learn in our recorded episodes, where we can have 2-3 hours to sit down and talk to somebody and really kind of get to the meat and potatoes and stuff. And we have, coming out next Thursday, we'll have part 2 with Maddie Wong.
You guys are not going to want to miss that.
It's a really good one. All I'll say is there's a lot of good dudes in fishing, and we get to hear one story about how good people are in that industry and how important relationships are. And just talking to Maddie, man, Maddie's a cool dude. So,
what I appreciate about our show, I'm going to give us a little kudos, is the fact that we actually don't circle the drain in negativity. Like we keep it pretty light and we keep it pretty positive. And, I think that's a lot to be said for the information environment that we're in today. So that's what we're trying to do for everybody, is like bring you positivity, like bring you success stories, bring your culture, things like that. Like it's, there's so many good things that happen, but they totally get suppressed by all the negative stuff. So that's why you don't see us dive into that stuff. So while you may not see us on the algorithm, like, you don't see us there for a reason.
Yeah, there's 150 people talking about all the negative stuff.
It's the same story over and over.
I'm not saying we don't talk about it. We know we have to, but we try to be more positive about it. for the most part. Sometimes it doesn't always go that way, but we try to not be negative. We try not to bring anybody down. We understand how hard it is to make fishing a living, whether it's a company, whether it's an angler, whether it's an organization, and we can be critical because we want to see it succeed.
Yep.
And we try to be constructive in our criticisms and not just tear them down. There was one occurrence where I did that went bye, and I apologize to everybody that was there for that. But
hey, it happens.
Just having a bad day, and our unofficial information guy. So if we say we got information from somebody, everybody now knows it's Mike Johnson.
Yeah, way to make yourself unofficial.
Way to go,
Mikey J. Dude, you're like the worst spy ever.
Yeah,
he is Jason Bourne.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, they didn't teach him anything.
Yeah. Way to go, farm. Oh man, we like to cut up. Hey, seriously though, like Pete was saying, I know we kind of froze a little bit there. Like our internet we're using my house internet. Like full disclosure, right? We're using my house internet, and like it takes money to run these shows.
True. Without access to the coffee room, I'm not the least bit surprised.
Oh, I'll tell you about Mike's access to the coffee room.
Okay.
So
maybe not on air.
Yeah, not on air.
No, we'll talk about
but that is about the only thing you can do is like make coffee, Mike. But it takes money to run these shows, man.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, but that's why we ask you guys, like, please share this, with your friends and stuff like that. Please leave reviews and comments and stuff, because any way that the algorithm can catch and they can start like monetizing stuff like that, it will put money back into the show. We make zero, in fact, negative dollars off the show. Not even lying one bit. But we want to bring the show to everybody because we enjoy sitting here running our mouths. Like we would have been doing this and not recording it anyways.
Yeah.
So now we'll just sit here and drink a cold beverage. And
we put everything back in. So it's all about making it better, being able to do.
We all have full-time jobs.
Go different places, talk to different people. And none of us are independently wealthy. So we do try to get out there and bring you guys awesome content. And within our means, but the more you support the companies that support us, more we have the opportunity to work with other companies.
Yep, such as Carolina Waters. Go to CarolinaWatersNC.com.
I'm proud of you.
Use the code TheOneCast, save some money. Go to OneCastFishing.com. Use the code TheOneCast to save some money. Like Pete said, some of those funds will go right back into getting us better internet for you so that we're not freezing. And then thank you, Mike Johns, for donating all that money that you said you were going to donate to the OneCast. We appreciate that.
Oh yeah, man.
I won't tell your coffee story if you donate the money.
And remember the link I posted for the GoFundMe. If you do donate to that, I'm going to go ahead and do a giveaway with some the OneCast gear, hat, shirt. We also have Swamp Fox Customs. Going to send a bait package with some hard baits and some soft baits to throw into that. No matter what you donate, whether it's 25 cents or $25,000, send us a receipt, a picture of your receipt. You can black out all that personal info. We'll add you to the list, and then once we wrap and get this out to more people, we'll come up with when it's going to end and everything. But if you are watching, make sure you check that out. Again, that money all goes to a family in Hawaii directly. Who Maddie Wong met in a tackle store. They were buying some new equipment so they get their boys back out on the water, chasing some fish. So I don't know what they were fishing for. Maddie said the name, and it was a Hawaiian name for a fish, so I don't know what it was. And I didn't want to interrupt the flow of conversation.
Yeah, I would slaughter it. I don't know what it is either. I just know that it's
some saltwater fish. So
it's a way of life, dude. I mean, like it's a way of life. I mean, that is the culture in Hawaii.
Yep.
Majority of the smaller islands, by the way. So
yeah. So that's all that we have, I think, for this week. I am getting ready to go get some rest so I can get up and go.
Fall transition is happening, and we're going to transition off the show and go get some sleep.
Get out there and fish. It's going to be like 50 to 3 degrees in the morning. So looking forward to that.
I'll probably be out on the water in the morning.
And yeah, I bet you will.
I will for like a couple hours, and then I'm going to go take the kids to the fire.
We'll see. Anyway, appreciate y'all joining. Make sure you check out all of our sponsors, everything that's linked, and make sure you check out the podcast. You can go to theonecast.podbean.com, and it has links to all of the video. It has links directly to our sponsors It has all the codes and everything for them. So go check them out and make sure you do that. And as always, help us continue to grow a culture of anglers helping anglers. One cast.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.